Welcome to Guys Like Us. If you're new to this podcast, this is a podcast about the things you start to think about when you're in, well, we got to admit it, midlife. You'll hear stories about family, leadership, relationships, friendships, fun nights out. In short, the things that shaped us and continue to move us. And we hope there's something in there for you as well. And today's episode is about snow days and sick days, a very pertinent thing for parents.
Fun, snow days
Yeah.
and sick days.
Yeah,
Here we go.
yeah.
Nice.
Your host today, well, I'm Marc, calling in from a crazy freezing New York City. And I'm joined by my bestie, Paul. Paul, where are you today?
I am back in Vienna where it's not freezing. It's just as gray as it has been. In the grayest winter we've had in 30 years. Not the coldest, but the grayest.
Ugh.
Every Sunday is almost like, every day with sun. People actually talk about it. It's like, I saw the sun today. That's how,
Oh my
how that's fucking sucks.
That sounds appalling.
Depressing as fuck, man. It's totally
Okay.
depressing. And my voice is a bit off, as you can hear, hence the sick topic today. But tell me, how cold is it?
It is, I mean,
That you
I
pee ice
can't
cubes?
even. Yeah, I know. There's always that joke. Like, can you pee ice cubes and stuff like that? It is. Here's how cold it is. Basically, I was telling my son, look outside the window. And we have our window looks on the East River, and you could just see chunks of floating ice going right.
No.
And I was like, can we spot a polar bear? Oh yeah, they suspended the ferries in New York because it's basically like you're going through massive waves of ice, and it's been like this for 2.5 weeks of like -6 Fahrenheit, or 6 Fahrenheit, 12 Fahrenheit. Like I can't take the kids out because it's so cold.
Wow.
Yeah, and so
Wow.
like I did cross country skiing at my parents', right?
Yeah.
And when it first snowed and we just kind of went through, and now like those tracks are frozen and they haven't moved. It's just like chunks of ice splinters everywhere. It's
Crazy.
bananas. Yeah.
Huh.
That was a long answer, but that's kind
Wow.
of
So it is legitimately cold.
it is the
It's not
coldest
just
I've
you
ever
being like a-
experienced. No, not being a pussy.
you know,
Like it's like the
yeah.
coldest I've experienced,
Okay.
like consistently cold I've experienced New York in a long, I think ever.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. That sucks. I'm sorry to hear that, man.
So you're
That's-
living. So you're in the grays, and I'm in freezing beds. But there's
Yeah,
some
man.
benefits
If it
to
was also be that cold with that gray, I would have moved away immediately.
It's
Awful. Terrible.
Yeah.
But hey,
Who's
okay.
sponsoring you today?
Yeah.
Before I get into it, and are you being sponsored by anyone, or you are? I think
Vienna's finest, dude. I mean, I
Vienna's
have to say,
finest.
but I want to talk about this for a second. This has
Please.
been the driest month that I've had,
Really?
I think, since not February, guys. I'm still talking about January.
Yeah.
And let's maybe discount the first 5 or 6 days. But the driest 3 weeks I've had since I was 18, for sure. For
Wow.
sure.
Okay.
And I feel great, actually, to be honest.
Good.
I mean, surprise. But I really do feel
Shocking.
great.
You're
Shocking.
watching over your house.
Shocking. But as I was, out sick for most of last week, I haven't started drinking again, and I'm okay with it. So I'm drinking Vienna's finest.
That's good. Good. I'm proud of you.
It wasn't even a choice. I would have made a tea if I had the time. But how about yourself?
Also, New York's finest. It's I'm about to hop on a flight to San Francisco in a few hours, so I was just
here we go.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, the
That's
drinking
why
can
we're
start.
so early. It's like almost.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Well,
though. I like it.
There's this great joke. If I don't plan to drink much at all today, but if you ever want to feel better about what you're putting in your body, you go to an airport at 8 a.m., right?
Yeah. But I'm almost like, I like this though. When I go to the airport and there's a group of guys who, get some beers at like 8:30, I'm like, yeah. I mean, that's commitment. They're in for a good time.
That's
They're
true.
in for a very good time. So I'm like, I like that. I have to admit. And
Mm.
up to a point where you drink too much and getting almost kicked off a plane. But how would I know? Anyways, it's a problem when you start doing this and then they delay
Yeah,
the flight and
exactly.
you have to keep on going and all of a sudden you're really in trouble. But hey, something else before we start with this topic, a quick shout out. I don't know if you saw it this morning already on our Instagram channel. I was on this friend's podcast the other week. It's called
Oh,
Dead or
yeah?
Alive, and they
Oh,
made a
cool.
super fun. Yeah, check it out, man. They made a super fun kind of an Instagram AI generated photo and some fun clips. It's all in German though, guys, but it's super fun actually. And they did a good job.
Nice.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah, yeah,
Good. Well,
yeah,
I
yeah.
I think this is episode 29, so I think you've got a lot of rounds under and
No, I mean, it was
practice.
of practice. No, but I don't know how the content was. I liked what they did with it. That's what I wanted to
Mm.
say, and which I would love to do more. And then the other thing is, I also saw today that the main Austrian radio station is doing a podcast of the year award. So we have to find a way to get lots of people to vote for us, Mark. So at least
I
we
I
get
can't wait for my
ranked
dream.
into the newcomer
Exactly.
of the year, right?
Yeah, I want the
So
newcomer
we
best English
yeah,
language
I know,
podcast. I
no,
think we
but
can
now
do
you
it.
have to find a creative way. One person can vote once every 24 hours. And I'm about to think of a script we write, or something that we can bot ourselves into this.
I know some
But
people in
no, we would never
Bangladesh
do
that can
this,
help.
fans. Please,
Yeah.
it's a very cumbersome form online. Actually, I almost didn't manage, but we will put it online, and you will
Cool.
all get spammed by us in the next few weeks, in order, so you actually um, submit your vote for the
Good.
newcomer of the year, guys like us.
Cool. Well, okay. On that note, I'm going to transition to why they should
Thank you.
vote for
Thank you.
us, which is a topic that is full top of mind, something we all experience. How was your week, Paul? Let me ask you that.
Guys, if you listened to our last podcast, that was last week, and it was recorded live from my car,
Yeah.
in the
Drinking
ski
a glass of
resort,
red wine. It was
drinking a glass of
amazing.
red wine,
Yeah,
which was the
exactly.
last glass of red wine I drank, because the next day I woke up. Yeah, it's true. Actually, then I had another one with my parents, and then I woke up the next day and I felt not great. But by that time, I had two sick children at home, and I thought, okay, whatever, I'm just gonna go skiing. I went. By lunchtime, I could barely stand or nor sit in this hut. I went back home, went to bed, woke up 3 hours later with a fever. So that was me. Only for the next day, for my son to actually fall into the same trap. So, yeah, I had the first one down on Sunday, the second one down on Monday, me down on Tuesday, and the third one down on Wednesday, what turned out to be Influenza A, which we had, and with a little bit of a bacterial infection on top for me and my middle son, who then also went on antibiotics by
Jesus. Oh my
Wednesday
God.
because we
Oh my
couldn't
God.
breathe or talk anymore. So that was my week. And all of this while being in a 75 square meter apartment together with my parents up on a mountain.
Okay. That sounds like a circle of hell or a circle of freezing. Guys, I mean, it sounds crazy, but maybe your parents were running defense for you.
They were running defense for me, and luckily they've had influenza already over Christmas, so they were immune. And I don't know how I could have done it without my mom. And a huge shout out there. She was an absolute like a terminatress. Yeah, crazy. Yeah. And because on Wednesday I woke up, I was like, fuck this shit. I'm gonna pack everything and I go home. And as I get up and say this, I'm like, okay, I have to lie down and go sleep.
Oh my
So
God.
yeah, it was up. Actually, to be honest, the first time I've ever had a vacation where that happened to me and my whole family. I've always
Wow.
heard this from others, but in that
And you
intensity,
always said, sucks to be
and I
you.
always thought like, oh, those poor fuckers. Yeah, this time it was me. It's fair enough. Now it's over. I can laugh about it, but it was not so fun.
Yeah. I have a less painful version of that, but it rhymes, which are the snow day kind of thing. So and
What's a snow
imagine,
day?
well, it's too cold outside, cannot move, right? you're trapped. Like, normally, even in the winter, like, we put our kids, they can go outdoors, they can run around,
Mm,
etc. Right now, it's like absolutely lockdown, kind of in our own apartment. And then on top of it, yes, I live in this kind of hilarious luxury building, and you can
yeah,
make them run around,
go
which is
bowling.
kind
Yeah.
of the point. Yeah, except everyone has the same idea because it's too cold, right? So
Ah, that
suddenly,
sucks.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
sucks, man.
So, I thought like it'd be kind of interesting, first of all, outside of just having a bit of empathy, but to talk a little bit about like what are your experience. Oh, and by the way, and I also have a kid who I'm pretty sure is pretending to be sick today, right? So he can go and he watched so many movies over the weekend because it was so cold out. He's like, you know what's better? Let me just pretend to be sick so I can watch war movies.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
So I got to tell you, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you hate sick days? Or are you like, is it a good moment to be empathetic? And your child is weak, and you're like, you can be with them. They can't move so much. I've heard some parents are like, not the worst thing, because they're actually wreaking less havoc, and we can spend with some more quality time.
I do not hate them. I mean, it really depends on the
Mm.
circumstance. And I mean, also my ex-wife told me when we talked, she's like, "This is a great bonding experience because me and my sick son were in the same bed, the ones who both have the infection as well." Um,
Mm.
which to a point I agree with you. It was really one. It was a bonding experience to the point where he woke up hallucinating at night because his fever was so high and started talking really weird shit, which scared the shit out of me.
Holy
It
shit.
was actually okay, and to the point when they start crying because they can't swallow because their throat hurts and blah blah blah. So when it gets kind of over that point, like everything in life, there's a very delicate sweet spot where they're sick enough that they don't want to watch TV all the time because they get a headache, but they're not so sick that they cry all the time. So in that sweet
Yeah.
spot, them being sick
That's
is
a
not
good
too
sweet
bad.
spot.
You know,
Oh, that's a good
but
sweet spot.
but
And then they
but
love you, and they're so weak, they need you.
exactly, they want to
Yeah,
cuddle and it's like
yeah,
that and da da da, right? So
exactly. Let's
the
be
problem
real.
is, you never have three of them in the same sweet spot. So that's for sure, right? So I had one who was already fit, the youngest one. She had it first. She was done in a day and a half, basically one afternoon, one whole day. And the third day, she was already like, I want to go skiing again. And I was
Mm,
like, I don't think you should. And then I had two others lying around, and I was like, fuck it, go. I was like,
yeah.
go. And she was fine. She loved it. And luckily we had friends there and she was at their place. I think that's more the problem to handle the different kind of states you have. You have the semi-sick one, the full-on sick one, and the one that has lots of energy because she just came out of 2.5 days in bed
Right.
and wants to move. And that's kind of
Oh god, I'm not looking forward to that. Okay.
yeah. But I
Oh.
mean, you have to take it as I paid 8 days of skiing tickets, and I basically times four, and I needed out of those 32 days that I bought, I needed 10,
No.
12.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to get over that in your head, over those sunk costs
Oh
and the
my
vacation
oh my
piece.
god.
Yeah.
I'm kind of the same way. Well, like, look, it's a test. First of all, it's a good test of your marriage, at least my marriage, right? To say the least,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Sure it would be. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, especially it depends on the type of sick. So, like, if like I can do fever and just like cozying, et cetera, but like if it's vomiting and like
No,
puking everywhere,
no,
oh god,
no,
you need to
no,
have the buckets out. It's awful.
no.
And unfortunately, Vera always gets puked out, and I don't. But like, so
No,
bad.
that's a terrible thing.
No, this is the worst, right? And you want to nurse them back to health. In general, our kids are pretty healthy, but like it's just also balancing it with work because then you realize, wait a second, like your whole day just got screwed. Your whole week just got screwed. I mean, your vacation got screwed. I mean, my day today was uh, me trying to pretend like getting on some important calls, and then suddenly a little head pops up, even though he was in bed and was supposed to stay in bed and wants to watch something while I'm on the call.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
I hear you, and I think spoke about, your marriage and your partnership in that distress, but imagine you had to do this alone. And I wasn't alone this time because I had
Yeah,
my
of
my
course.
parents, and it allowed me to actually also be sick and to be like, you know what, I'm just gonna spend all of this afternoon in bed now because I don't know what to do and how to move.
Mm,
Which I couldn't have done if I hadn't had my parents, especially my mother. And so I wonder what it is. I think if you're actually even able as an, I always found that when we had something as a whole family, like for example, COVID back in the days where, obviously all the five of us had it,
yeah,
that I mean, my ex-wife was always less sick somehow, or somehow it just was tougher,
got it.
and just somehow was always kind of there, also for the kids. And when always also this time left me thinking, Jesus, if I had been alone with them, maybe I would have just popped ibuprofen every 2 hours,
Yeah, exactly.
to
I
get
love
through
this note.
this.
First of all, gratitude. I imagine I can see how you have done that in the past.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah,
I on the flip side, so on the snow day thing, I think this is I'm just curious, like this is always funny to me. Like, I feel this obligation as a parent to take them out in the snow. You know, it's snowing, it's
yes, I
amazing. Let's
understand that.
make
Yeah, yeah,
yes, like we're gonna
totally
make
get
we're
that.
gonna make, snowmen and shit like this, right? You spend, I don't know, 45 minutes getting them ready, the toss, are they warm enough, et cetera. They come up there, right? You sell them on the idea, the romantic idea. Oh, we're gonna go do snowman. I've got even the carrot, in there, the little eyes, et cetera. Pack that, et cetera. You go out there, 12 minutes. They're like, Daddy, I'm cold. Let's go inside. Right? I'm like, no way. I can't imagine. I'm wondering. It's always funny to me to fall for the romance kind of the perfect snow day,
Yeah.
and then you know
I did that the other day. I was the same. It was sunny and there was snow. I was like, they have to go, rodeln on the sled.
yeah.
Dude, by the time we were up there, it was so windy. And after 7 minutes, they were all somewhere behind a tree shivering. It's like, Dad, we want to go home.
Oh
So
my
yeah, you
gosh.
have to. I mean, that's with all of those things. I guess that the common denominator again is to totally reduce your expectations of what should be, because I think inhibitions fall. I don't give a damn how much they watch TV or play
Yeah,
on their phones when they're
that's the
sick
other thing.
and
Yeah,
need to be at home. I'm
yeah.
sorry, that's not the day to start enforcing things. Because frankly, I was on Instagram all the time. So, and they were actually so sick that they said, I can't do it. I'm getting a headache. So, in a
Mm,
funny way, they were almost more aware of what this stupid screens do to them as they were sick. But to me, there is no boundaries then.
yeah.
Not when they
So
fake being
I,
sick, though,
I
as
I
my
think
son
that.
did too today. Yeah.
Oh, he also faked. Yeah, yeah,
No, well, he
yeah.
doesn't have a voice, but he's okay. And then, at 9:30 he calls me. He's like, "Can I have more screen time for Minecraft?" It's like, dude, I don't
Yeah,
know, man.
I
It's
know.
9:30. What's happening?
This is the phase that I'm most worried about, and I agree. And I think with 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 Vera at home, that is the absolute core tension because to me, I'm like, I don't. He can watch the entire Disney catalog is for all I care, right? I just got work to do, et cetera. It's not the time to argue, right? And she's like, why doesn't he do a puzzle or something like this? I was like, puzzles now?
You what if the yeah.
If you want to sit and make the puzzle with him, that's fine. But just like, it can't be a shared um endeavor here because daddy's got to get to work, and focus and focus.
Yeah, that's difficult, right? But I mean, if you have the energy to do that, and yours are a little bit small, right? But I would be fine also, to be honest, to go and even buy them a new Lego or something, because
Yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah. Of
awesome
course. Of course.
that
Yeah,
they
yeah.
can do these things and the things that they can do alone. But in a way, I think there are some moments, and I mean, if you think about it, right, aren't those also the things that you remember of being sick or being snowed in when you were a child, where all of a sudden the things that were always, there was a big fuss about, like TV, all of a sudden it was a free for all and you could do it, and it was kind of
Mm,
special. So
mm.
I'm like, I think that's kind of cool too.
Yeah. It's just I think the mental model, which I think is always really fun. I feel like parents fall in two camps, right? There's the camp of like trying to hold on to like some sense of normalcy and patterns and like rules and groundings, right? And then the other parents are like, the other camp is like, we're just going to get through this, right? And whatever
Yeah.
we need to do to make it easier for us is what's going to happen,
Yeah. 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 But
I'm
you
absolutely
can't.
that camp.
Yeah, yeah, me too. But you also have to be careful not to waste all your ammunition on the first morning, basically. You know what I mean? So
That's
if you
interesting
open
too.
the floodgates of TV and sweets and what other bribes you have, and then you have 4 days to go, man, that's also a problem. So you have to rationalize that. You have to think of when you do what. You know, you just can't let it go. And sometimes when you have the time, you also have to sit your ass down and play with them, because it's also fun. And when you have the
Oh, of
mental
course.
space, because that also does something.
No, no.
But yeah, man, I mean, being locked inside in a small space with it's tough. It is really tough.
Yeah.
We had fun games of playing board games though with them now that they were sick and my mom, and we were like doing real time solitaire with cards. It was super fun to see like my 10-year-old doing solitaire with cards, and so there are also
Mm.
kind of cute things that I think they will remember. You know, that time where we were sick in the mountains and we're playing XYZ with Omi, and so it's kind of cute. You know, as I said, in that very special zone
You
of
know,
not
yeah,
being too bored and too sick.
you kind of hit the sweet spot, and it's funny because I was wanted to guide us to some like tips and tricks here, but actually, I think what I found what I'm learning in just talking to you is like, I mean, to state the obvious, the age does matter, there's something nice about like how you are playing with them, guiding with them. You know what I mean? In a you're kind of in it together, which is it is an interesting bonding moment, right? I mean,
It
and
is
you're
because, he gets up at night, I get up, it's like, "How is your throat? Oh, it hurts, drink a glass of water." It's all these little things, and you kind of like
mm.
also help him in a sense also go through that pain because it's like, it's gonna be painful, buddy, and you have to get used to it, you know?
And actually, now to take it in a different place. I mean, there's a return to nurture in a way because they're so vulnerable that you're tapping into. And I can fully understand why there's a lot of joy in that. Especially as the kids get older. Like right now, I'm in 100% nurture mode, especially with my youngest. Right, it's all it is. Right, just
Yeah, that's all it is, yeah.
right, right.
Yeah.
But as they get older, that's then they're coming back to you, right, to cuddle and to like they're sick, they're vulnerable, right, and that's got to be actually quite beautiful.
It is, that's a very good point, Mark. I think that's exactly why this is touching, is one
Mm,
part, and you also see them, how they deal with things, and I found that very interesting how, my youngest was like, "I'm not gonna take anything. I'm just gonna sit here and endure this shit, and I'm gonna get over this," right?
mm,
And my oldest one was lying in bed for 2 days, which I never see him do, which is never.
mm.
The guy is always up at 5 and in bed at 10. He never sleeps, and now he was like, "That's I can't do anything. Fuck this. I'm gonna lie here."
Yeah.
And that's one part. And the second part, I think it goes especially out to, I guess, especially to dads and then maybe even more so to divorced dads. You know, in the very beginning, I was always super afraid of only being a weekend dad and not to be there
Mm,
for them for the things that really matter. And I still um I'm still pretty convinced of the fact that the quality time is important when you have time with them. But I also think a lot of and the connection that you build with your kids is because you are there when something happens and they need you. Right, in a sense,
yeah,
and you don't really
of
know when that's
course.
gonna happen, and usually that happens more to you if you spend more time with them or they're more in your custody in a sense, right? Which usually as a dad, as it is in Austria, you always less, and I have them quite a bit, which is fine. So almost I'm like in hindsight thankful for this because I had this moment where I was sick with all of my kids and they had to rely on me and my
Mm,
mother, to be fair. But it's almost like a gift in that sense that they could see how I would be with them and how I could nurture them. So, you know, there's always light and shadow, and I think that's the light part for me.
that's really touching, actually, for you to kind of distill it that way. Huh. It's not actually where I thought this was going to go, and that's the way you take it to a place much richer and powerful. So, it's a good reminder to be present, and also, you're right, to be there when they need you the most, right?
Yeah, I think
And
that's what they're
sometimes
gonna remember, right? And it's when they come back the next time they're older, and they have a choice of coming to you or not, right?
yeah.
So, and I think we kind of prime them for those things now, where they feel safe with us and seen. So so yeah, and that's in that sense, it was a great opportunity. I say this now with lots of grandeur. When I was there, you should have seen me. I was just saying, "What the fuck is this shit? I'm gonna go home. I hate this. Why
Mm,
now? Blah blah blah."
mm.
So
Yeah, yeah, of course.
enough hindsight has happened.
No,
Enough time
a
has passed.
and it's funny, like, this one really tests my creativity even, being at home with all these kids, like, I mean, because also, like, you know, it's a New York apartment, so I almost feel like it's easier if it's 1 parent and 2 kids versus 2 parents and 2 kids, and I'll explain why. Because, for not always, like, not throughout, but, like, in certain pockets, because, I'm inventing games that they can then, play with, and then I can toss one, toss the other, and just distract them more. I don't know, set my own rules and boundaries for them to run around. And, especially as we're in the age of, roughhousing, with the kids, with the
Mm,
boys, so they just wanna
mm.
jump on you and take you in, so, like, that's, like, you can do that for an hour, so and one of my strategies is totally to wear them out, so either if it's a snow day, you give them shovels so they can run around,
Of
It's
course,
just yeah,
100%. Yeah, yeah,
to get
yeah,
exhausted,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Here, there was a kiddie pool. I was like, "Great, we're gonna go for an hour at the kiddie pool." You can just run around in the pool.
No, you
So they
need
get
that too. I
yeah,
mean, you
yeah,
need
yeah,
to
yeah,
absolutely agree.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And then, the other co-creative task, which is nice because we both like to cook, you and I.
I
So
was
I'm
about
like
to say that. Yeah. Yeah.
that's the other one, right? You're making
Yeah.
pastas together, you're making soups.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I
Yeah.
think that's what it is to kind of make, as a trick, and if we, kind of move into the tips and trick to make your daily chores an adventure.
Mhm.
And maybe you make them do things in the kitchen that they would usually not be allowed to do.
Totally.
Open the eggs for your kids because they're small, or whatever, and you can be sure 2 eggs are going to be on the floor. Who cares?
Yeah.
And this kind. So you make your everyday an adventure, and which can be fun. Uh, but going back to the relationship side of things, I mean, I remember that times where I felt it was easier to be alone with them because you also didn't feel the expectation
Yes.
of the other person to meet, right? Or am I doing things that now is too loud, or that your partner doesn't approve of, and is really difficult, this one, right? And in theory, I think it would work best if you kind of have a pact where you say, you know what, the next 2 hours are mine. Whatever I do with them is my fucking problem. And I'm gonna clean up the shit, and that's what it is. And then the next 2 hours is your problem.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
that's a
and
good
and,
one.
and maybe there is a code word if I really struggle, or you really think they're gonna die any second. You can say that code word, but in between that or outside of that, that's it. Don't worry
That's
about it.
good.
Go down to the pool and relax for 2 hours.
Yeah, see, that's nice. That's nice. I like that. I also, yeah, my friend who's close to my he always gives me this hack, so I always forget. I'm always a little bit nervous. He always pops edibles, when on the the sodas. He said he's
Yeah,
like
man, I'm not
he's
sure.
like he's like if we're gonna get nuts, like I gotta relax. Like there's just no way. Like that.
Listen, I just give them 2 or
Yeah.
3 little pieces of mushroom
Well, I'm not saying
chocolate, and
he
they're
gives them
really
the mushroom.
happy.
Yeah, he does it himself. I don't think he's giving his kids his edibles, so that would be really
I know,
fun.
but imagine. You'd have your kids rooming out. That's what I thought my son had that one night with the high fever. He was starting to talk. Wow, man, that
All
was
kinds of
great
fun
shit.
stuff.
Yeah,
Oh.
all kinds of fun stuff. Yeah. So no, but I think that's really to divide and conquer. But when you divide, you really divide. Edibles, maybe that's one of the more hardcore ones, making your day an adventure. I think that goes up to a point. Then obviously you always have the TV card. That
Ah,
the
yeah,
problem with the
exactly.
TV though, guys, is like it works as long as it works, and then they get so cuckoo in their brains that everything that happens after the TV is an absolute disaster. Nothing works anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
That's kind
true.
of what I feel. They get so fucked up, their neurons, so that nothing works anymore.
Yeah,
So yeah,
it's a dance with the devil, that one. That's for sure.
it
Yeah.
is. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and you can't even go and have half a bottle of wine at night to kind of get over this, because then you wake up the next morning and this whole thing starts on the wrong foot,
Dude,
and
it
then you're
is.
fucked. So you really have
I've
to
made that
fucking
mistake.
stay. Yeah, no, of
Yeah.
course.
It's everyone does. Yeah.
Whoever
Yeah.
hasn't made this mistake, I mean,
Mm,
come on, I don't
yeah.
believe you.
God bless you.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah,
Because I feel like when that happens, I am just
yeah.
like at the end of
I
the day. Yeah.
Yeah, in a sense, I mean, that could speak for the edibles if they kind of like go by without any, big headaches afterwards. There could be something there. Yeah.
No, nice.
So
Well,
yeah.
this is fun. I like it. Just, a beautiful. This was a nice twist and turn of a conversation. I thought we are gonna riff and go. I mean, all our share our war stories, but instead I've walked away with a touching reminder of what it means to be a parent when your kids are really vulnerable. And
Oh
so,
man, you're
thank you
gonna
for
sit.
that.
Listen,
Thank you for
one
that.
thing, well, you're welcome, and thank you for the idea and the topic. And let's talk about this again after the 10th time you said you have two sons in an emergency room with all of your sons because they hit their foot playing football or something, because that's coming up now. And I
Yeah.
hate it. And I have really, I mean, if my oldest son comes back, it's like, Dad, I kicked the floor playing soccer in school. It's like, what? Why? So, and then you go there, and then they make an X-ray, and you wait for 2 hours with a bunch of other idiots who kick their foots, like all of these half teenagers, and then they tell you, well, it's nothing, but you always have to look at it because of blah blah blah. You're gonna
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
It's an
Yeah.
endless story. My mom
It's
always
an
makes
endless
the
story.
joke that she had an annual pass at the children's ER in Graz where we grew up, because I was there all the time. So
Oh my
in
God.
the end, it's all coming around.
That's funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe in that. I totally believe in that. Yeah.
All right, man.
Well, Terminators and
I
Idiots of the
have a
Week.
clear Terminator, man, and I have an idiot too.
Okay,
Um,
great. You go.
I'm not gonna say so much about the idiot, because this whole being sick is the idiot. It is whatever fucking virus we had. I mean, I said already last week, and I can see now I talk so positively about this experience, but fuck it, big time. You're my idiot of the week, and you deserve it.
Mm.
Thank you.
And your
Please go
Terminator?
ahead. Oh, my Terminator. My Terminator. This morning I installed Claude, whatever the fuck it's called, the app on my thing, Claude Cowork. And I've been
Mm.
playing with this because I wanted to play with Claude Code, actually. I mean, apart from the fact that maybe I'm too stupid for it.
Wait.
But
You downloaded it on your phone?
no, I've downloaded it on my Mac.
Okay.
And this Cowork thing, it actually was a product of my AI chat I have with Gemini, where I ask him how to do things. And I had to do, yeah.
And Gemini's like, I can't do that shit. Let me recommend another.
Basically. No, and it was very simple. I had to do my bookkeeping for my company. And basically over 3 months, I have 120 invoices that I have to sort and blah, 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 and whatever. And it takes me hours. And I was like, I'm stuffed with this. Can I not, do some kind of a workflow? And then Gemini gave me a workflow, which with make.com, it was too complicated for me. It's like, it must be an easy way. So I got Claude Cowork, and this thing is absolutely phenomenal. I give it access to the folder where I have all the things, and I just dump in all of the shit that I have and that I get. And I'm like, sort it for me into month, rename the files, check with the credit card statement whether everything is there or not. And it is absolutely astonishingly good.
Wow.
I'm blown away, because this is real help. This is this thing finally not doing research, but doing shit that I would have to do otherwise.
Nice.
I love
I'm gonna check it out. That's scary, especially since I've got some interesting conversations this week on it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, my idiots. I'll take two bits from the news last week, which are kind of fun, which just to briefly talk about. The first idiots are, obviously these Epstein files things keep going.
Jesus, no, man, must be my idiot. Sorry, guys, I'm revoking everything. I am sick to my stomach.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
Sick to my stomach.
And the thing I would say
Gross.
about it is, this other comedian was mentioning this, and I'm gonna lift from it. All that QAnon stuff, that was making fun of, as these
Mm,
giant conspiracy
mm.
theories. Like
All
these
true.
guys were closer to like,
There is always a kernel of truth, huh? I mean,
yeah. I mean, holy hell, right?
fuck.
It's just profoundly disturbing, and also, you know, it plays out like it's like every conspiracy theory that you think how things will show up is actually happening out on paper, and who's
Exactly.
involved. It's like, who is it in
I
this
mean,
thing?
who in your opinion is the biggest loser? In a sense, whose public image is suffering the most
I
with
mean,
the
it's gotta be,
recent?
the Bill Gates thinking that he
Yes,
got an STD
100%.
from like
Not
this.
not
I
even a
mean,
question.
yeah, I mean, it's just, and I think so many of these guys like Gates, Musk, I mean, they're on the spectrum. They don't know how to talk to women, and this is the easiest thing for them. And anyway, it's just
Yeah, but on the funny one, and I'm gonna defend anyone because no one's there. But that's the other thing. If you read through all of those, and I sent you a link which someone kind of put them in something that looks like a Gmail inbox, and you can sort through folders. But one is Elon Musk, and you read through all of them.
yeah,
But if you read through all of them, when he said when is the best party, he was in some part with his back then
yeah.
woman, and I don't think he got it right because he was like, then Epstein was replying, I'm not sure your
You
Talia
know, it's like, no one under 25 will be there.
no, will feel comfortable with the ratio, and he writes
Oh,
back, she doesn't have a problem with ratios. Like, so he just wanted to party, and then he was actually quite brush with him on the other side. So I think there's also what I hate about it is there's so much taken out of context again because people don't have the context and
right.
or also want to portray it the way they want to portray it and so on. So it's obviously highly politicized, and we will not know, but it's just as a whole is appalling.
Yeah,
And the other one who
unbelievable.
really I think is Peter Attia,
Yeah.
whose book I really enjoyed, and whose messages are
Dude,
also not
sorry.
really hard to misinterpret, to be honest.
Also,
I mean,
like,
they're like, what the
I mean,
fuck?
the hypocrisy, sorry, I mean, we should Deepak Chopra, the guru, the spiritual guru, is it like
Really?
massive, oh, yeah, asking for, like, cute Israeli girls. I mean, the hypocrisy, it's crazy.
I
Okay.
mean, the only one who doesn't suffer, the only one that which is actually quite that's where you can see you're a political animal is Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
because Bill Clinton, I mean, obviously sleazy as fuck when it
Yeah.
comes to this. I mean,
Yeah.
he was almost impeached for a blowjob. So,
Yeah.
um, but he comes out of this now almost better than before because he's like, you know what? I'm willing to talk about all of this as long as
Yeah.
you turn the fucking cameras on and show it
Yeah.
to everyone. So he's the only one actually, you
Which
know,
would be the best thing.
which will be the best thing. But I think is an amazing political feat as well, right?
Totally. Totally.
To come
Totally.
out of this almost
And I would be
stronger than he
scared
came in.
shitless. Exactly. Yeah.
This is amazing. So
Yeah.
yeah,
He's not
yeah,
my Terminator, though. That would be crazy.
that would be
But
crazy. I agree
yeah,
with
but
you.
my Terminator is, so we had a pretty average to not great Super Bowl yesterday.
Yeah,
But the halftime show, Bad Bunny, was awesome. And uh, a super Terminator in the sense of, obviously we're going through really tough political times in this country with ICE and Minneapolis, et cetera. And to have the balls of someone like him to deliver something entirely in Spanish and make it uplifting and fun. It wasn't like a massive political statement. He
no,
needed to say it all. I thought it was cool. And
I didn't know who Bad Bunny was until the Grammys. I had
oh
no
wow.
fucking clue. I'm sure
Oh
I had
wow.
heard a song. I mean, I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
live on the moon,
Yeah.
but I
It's an
didn't know how
amazing one.
big he was. And I just saw bits and pieces today on Instagram, and this part where it's like, God bless American, and he,
Yeah.
repeat, he kind of
Uruguay,
lists
yeah, exactly.
all
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
from south to north,
Yeah.
lists all the countries,
And he
which was
spikes the football.
super
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, 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 it's
Yeah.
fun.
That was
Yeah, it was
awesome.
cool. Yeah, it
Awesome.
was awesome.
Yeah, no, that's a rightful Terminator, man. Absolutely rightful.
Yeah,
Love it.
that's right.
Love it.
Cool. Well, this is
All right,
awesome
my
chatting with you
friend.
as always. It
It
was
was
great.
as always. Have a great day. Have a safe flight to San Fran. Let's connect this
Okay,
week.
and feel better. Bye.
Yeah, thank you, man.